Hey guys, what's up? It's Solo, and today we are back here on Destiny. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I did have a video like scheduled and planned that was going to be edited together, but unfortunately, the notes that I was taking and everything else was a little bit too much, so I do need an extra day to work on it. That's why you guys are getting this video. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about, I guess, raid culture. If you guys can't tell, I have one of the King's Fall weapons right here. This is actually the one people want because the shaders change with it, like, more than the others. So, like, the entire weapon changes except for, like, the red glow on the weapon, and every time you change like the color of it, like for example when you apply this on like emerald splash, if it will actually work, it will basically apply this shader to the entire gun rather than just the like bonish part of, there we go, the bonish part of the gun. So like if I go from, Emerald Splash to Crucible Vermilion, it's going to change. Or if I go to the Vanguard one, it's going to change. Whereas if you go into the collections and go into weapons and then go into, where is it? Let's just go to hand cannons. And we got to scroll pretty far and go to Zauli's Bane. And go down here to cosmetics and put on Dusted Tome. As you can see, only the bone part changes. Whereas with the Doom of Chelsis, it actually changes the entirety of the weapon. Now, mind you, I'm probably gonna take off the shader regardless, because this gun without a shader just looks great because they decided to animate the like flesh part of it, or the flesh tone part of it. So like, I mean, it looks pretty great. But yeah, no, raid culture right now is kind of meh. And what I mean by this is, like, yesterday I made a post on Reddit, and a lot of people, I got like mixed feedback because like a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's day 1, casual shouldn't be in playing the raid on day 1." Bro, look at that. That looks sick. But day 1 isn't meant for casuals. And while I agree to a certain extent, once the raid race is done, I feel like that level of elitism needs to get toned down, because it's not like you're fighting for world's first anymore. Like, someone like me who has played King's Fall before had troubles getting a raid group because everybody was requiring you to have 30 to 50 clears of raids or a day 1 emblem from the last raid, which had issues, and also the same elitism that's happening with this raid. And I thought it was ridiculous, because it's like, okay, the world's first is done. Why do we have this elitism when it's literally a raid from like years ago? And I get it. I get people don't want to be, dragged down by newer players. But also, there's the opposite, where it's one guy asking for all this, right? And in reality, this guy's just wanting to get carried by everyone else. Like, and that was a big thing with me for all of this, is just trying to find a group in day 1s is awful. Because unless you're raiding every single day of your life, or you're playing Destiny every single day, a lot of people are just gonna kind of turn their nose up to you. And I know not everyone's like that. There are people like the Broman, or Professor Broman, and people like that who do raid, who help people go through the raid for the first time. But I don't know. It just kind of upset me that like everybody's asking for ridiculous requirements for, day 1 raid teams if someone wanted to go for the sigil emblem, which I thought was stupid. Like, honestly, it's a cosmetic item. I get it's an achievement for like higher players, but also if someone wants to strive for that, why gatekeep them out of striving for it? Like, that adds to your guys' numbers. Like, that makes no sense. And if someone's willing to listen, I don't get why it's so hard for them to run. Especially someone like me, who's been playing, you know, Destiny 2 for a long time, and the only thing I you know, need to do is be told, hey, run this, and I know what mods and things to put on. Like, for example, when me and a couple of buddies who I finally got to do the, you know, raid with went in to day one, we figured out that for me on, you know, totems, the best thing is Solar Titan with Lordly Splendor, because it helps not die on the plates when all the knights and everything spawn. You know, and I'm pretty sure that's why Bungie are making the LFG system in-game, because I feel like it'll be a lot easier to monitor in-game, because like people are actively going to be like, hey, there's this up, and it's, you know, saying this and everything else. And I'm hoping that with it being introduced into the actual game. Now, we know it's not in Lightfall that's getting introduced. They just said 2023. So we could not see it until like almost the final shape. But still, with it being introduced, I feel like it's going to open a lot more opportunity, especially for new players. And with like commendations and guardian ranks, I feel like newer players are going to have a lot easier time trying to get into Destiny. The story's still kind of wish-washy, but I hope they kind of fix that. I know there's a new kind of cutscene that's going to be playing for New Lights, which is animation style I always loved, because when they did it with Saint 14's story, it was great, and doing it with just the entire Destiny story is now great. So I'm excited for that. Commendations I'm excited for, mostly because, like, from what I could tell, there were no quote-unquote negative commendations. It just looked like people were giving regular, just good commendations. So I'm hoping that there's not a lot of bad ones, because I feel like, I don't know, like, for me, playing Gambit, I feel like sometimes I can act very, very, I guess, greedy when it comes to motes, or like killing things and collecting motes. And that's usually only come up because of my builds in the past, especially my most recent one where I had infinite melee energy. It would just be me shoulder charging the entirety of the place and then having 15 motes. But I'm just hoping that there's not going to be an issue with people basically giving you bad commendations because they can, you know. Which, from what I saw, I didn't see any bad commendations, so maybe it's just going to be a, like, good thing people can put on you, which, if it is, that's great. Because that means, you know, people aren't going to just spam you with bad ones, so then people don't play with you because of someone deciding to mess around with you and put bad commendations all over, you know. And then we're getting guardian ranks, which from the preview we saw, it looks like there's gonna be some like basic ones where it's like, oh, do any patrol, do any strike, do any, you know. But then I'm guessing it gets harder, and it's gonna be like, oh, do a raid, guide someone else through a raid. You know, get them, you know, run them through trials or something like that. Which I feel like definitely the higher players are going to have, you know, a lot of things like, for example, they're going to be able to run people through trials and things like that. It's going to be interesting. Now, there are some things that we've seen in previous leaks that may make an appearance in Lightfall, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm just excited for what they've announced. I want to see what, I guess, the new Lightfall armors are going to be, because I know I know the Lightfall armor is probably going to have at least a few different sets. We're probably going to get a new set for all the core activities. Instead of the Viper Dax, it's going to be whatever new one they decide to come up with. I hope it's better than the Viper Dax. Like, the Viper Dax is cool and all, but also, like, I don't know. I wish it was more and more unique instead of feeling like the seasonal or the like yearly refresh of the activities armor is just basically a copy and paste over from each activity with a little bit of stylization. Because, like, the Gambit one, I believe, has a snake on it. In the Viper Dax, the Crucible one has, I believe, the, like, Crucible logo on it. And the Vanguard one has a Vanguard logo and some designs alongside the Vanguard. So I'm hoping that when we get to Lightfall, we're gonna get more unique, like, armor sets along the lines of, I don't know, like a snake-ish one for Gambit, kind of like a Stalwart or like Protector armor set for Vanguard, and like kind of like a like Skull and Crossbones are like badass thing for people who play Crucible, you know. I don't know, that maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, but it would be nice to feel like, you know, I had a reason to play Gambit as much as I used to, because after I got Malfeasance and, you know, get my title done for the season, well, gilding it for the season, it doesn't really feel like I need to play Gambit unless there's something very specific I'm going for. Like, for example, the ornament for the seasonal weapon, which is, of course, Cry Mutiny, which there's 3 ornaments for it. The Vanguard one, the Gambit one, and then the... yeah, the, whatchamacallit, the, Crucible one. And I'm already almost there on the Gambit one to get the Cry Mutiny. It's just, I don't know, I definitely feel like if they don't do a, like, activity, like, revamp with Lightfall, they need to do it with the final shape, or else we'll get to the point where, like, Strikes and then Gambit and Crucible are at a point where, like, people are either doing them, like, in Crucible to get Valor ranks and, like, be quote-unquote competitive with it, or they're just doing them to do seasonal challenges at all. And once they're done with seasonal challenges, unless they're, like, really hyper fixated on playing that certain mode, which there's less than, like, 10% for people who play Gambit, there's no real reason for you to grind these, like, extra modes and, like, strikes and stuff. Because after you get, like, your weekly pinnacle drop, right, it's literally just, do you have seasonal challenges? Yes. If you answer no, then you don't have to play it. If you answer yes, then, you know, get what seasonal challenges you need to get done and then do something else, you know. And I don't like being cynical, especially about stuff like Gambit, because, you know, I used to love Gambit all the time. I used to play it, you know, 24/7. If I got on one time a day, I would just sit there and play Gambit while I waited for my buddies to figure out what they wanted to do. But that was back in Forsaken era, and we are now about to be in Lightfall era in 2023, and we're still stuck with this kind of issue of Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit kind of feel what's the word I'm looking for? Hollow? Because, like, yeah, you can earn glory and valor and, you know, reset your rank. But once you do that, like, and get all the seasonal challenges and extra stuff done, it just kind of falls off. Like, okay, what am I striving towards for Gambit after I get Cry Mutiny and its ornament for the season? You know, if you already gilded, you know, your dredging and you have all this stuff done, what am I striving for? Because at this point, there's really, like, it's just really the seasonal weapon, which, by the way, has great design because, you know, it's pirate themed, you know, actually corresponds with the season. The one last season was weird because, like, I don't know. It didn't feel like it fit. It felt like it was just a machine gun thrown in there. Just to be thrown in there. It was a good gun, mind you. That thing is a really good gun. But I don't know. It didn't really feel like it fit the theme of Season of the Haunted. But yeah. But no, I'm just hoping to see more of a revamp of activities, whether that be in a season during Lightfall or at Lightfall. I'm hoping that it doesn't go all the way back to, you know, the final shape. Because if it does, people might be hurting once we get to the end of Lightfall seasons. And they'll be waiting and they'll be like, why? Like, the only reason to do strikes is for seasonal stuff, you know? But yeah, that's my take on it. We already know that, like, armor sets are gonna be, or armor ornaments are gonna be plenty. So, like, here's another suggestion. Why not give us armor ornaments for all of the, like, modes that are, like, unique ornaments for that season, for that mode? Like, you know, have this, like, base armor set and then give ornaments for people who are grinding that specific one. Like, for example, you don't start getting the Gambit ornaments until, like, one reset of rank, right? And then during that second, like, run is when you're gonna start getting the ornaments. And every time, like, it'd be cool if every time you reset, there was, like, a change to the ornaments. Like, for example, like, make one that has, like, the jade coins on it that Drifter's always holding, right? And, like, every time you reset it, it gets more and more coins. That would be pretty cool, but again, that would be a pain in the ass to actually make in game. But I just think that would be pretty cool, just, like, have something that kind of has, because, like, you see things like Call of Duty that have these, like, outrageous skins for, like, a World War II setting. And then, like, Bungie comes out with, like, you know, these, like, collaboration skins or the Solar and Arc skins. And, like, they're pretty good for what they are, but also, like, you can definitely tell that, like, the sets are getting stepped up gradually. But, like, this night, like, it's cool if you want to make a night set, but also, like, it's kind of lackluster a little bit. At least for Titans, like, Hunters and Warlocks, you guys got, like, the cat ears and, like, all these glowing parts, whereas Titans, all we really got, well, besides from Mark 3.0 itself, is that Titan Knight armor set, which, mind you, I'm not gonna knock on it because I did buy it, but I don't know. It's only good for really making one thing, and that's a knight. And that, like, that's its whole purpose, mind you. But it's still, I don't know. I feel like as we move forward, I feel like Bungie's going to get a lot better with their armor sets, especially going into Lightfall. Like, have you guys seen, like, the Lightfall armor sets? Like, that looks cool. Like, I think the coolest one from that was probably the Warlock. because Warlock looks like Rambo. Like, it just looks sick. But yeah, so on the topic of Lightfall, I am going to be making a video which will be going live tomorrow on Sunday, because it's Saturday, when this is going up, and I'm actually recording this early. So yeah, but basically what is gonna happen is that I'm gonna be doing a Strand video, and once that goes live, I'm gonna see what else I can pull out of the Lightfall trailer and do some theories about. And then once that all settles, we're gonna go into a Gambit theory, or not Gambit theory, a Gambit tips video, which I told you guys about a little bit ago. So yeah, but that's kind of more the schedule going forward. I just need a little bit more time to work on the actual thing for Strand, because I need to basically think about like what they would actually put for different elements of Strand. But anyway, guys, if you guys like the video, hit the like button, comment down below. What do you think they would put in Strand? The two things I'm thinking of is Unweave as a debuff, and then Woven as a buff. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek of the video, but let me know down in the comments what are you guys thinking. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll see you guys later.